Hi everyone, this is Lori here with Lori Hooks. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Today's video is a yarny catch up, and I have a finished object. I have a new WIP and a couple of acquisitions, and maybe we'll do a little life catch up at the end. Nothing exciting going on in that department, really. Not a bad thing. It is Wednesday here, and it's about, I can't see a clock from here, but it's about 8:30 in the morning. So we are still working on our coffee today. But I thought I'd get on here and show you guys what I finished. So not last night, the night before, I finished my Granny Pop V-neck sweater. And this is what it looks like. Here we go. Here it is in the back. Ribbing at the bottom, ribbing on the sleeves. And I'll insert a picture here of me wearing the sweater. I did wear it yesterday, so I'll insert a picture of it here that I took yesterday when I wore it for the day. Well, I shouldn't say I wore it for the day. I had a client visit in the afternoon, so I wore it to my client visit. So I'm really happy with how this sweater came out. This is a pattern by MJ's Off the Hook Designs. She has both a video tutorial for it, it's free on her blog, as well as she has a paid PDF download on her Etsy shop. I did buy the PDF and download it from her Etsy shop. I wanted to see what she does different on her paid patterns versus just getting the pattern off of her blog. So that was the reason why I decided to do that. And she did, I had favorited the pattern and she sent me a coupon as well. So it ended up that it's not that expensive in the end. I think the pattern is normally $11 Canadian, and she sent me a coupon for, I don't know, I think it was 25 or 30% off. So that was what I did, because I'll admit, I like a printed pattern rather than reading it off of my phone or off of my computer. If it's a small pattern and I'm going to be done with it like in a couple hours, that's one thing. But if it's a larger pattern that I'm going to be working on for, a couple weeks or a week or whatever, it's just my preference to not read it off of a blog. I like a printed pattern. So, and she has her patterns formatted very well, that she puts all the pictures in one spot, and then she has the written part in another spot, so that you don't have to print all the pictures out. You can still look at the pictures and reference them, and then just print the text, which I really liked about this pattern. So that is another thing about it. But I'm really happy with how the sweater came out. It works up really fast. It is top down, so I started it with the variegated prism yarn. Well, I guess it's a striped self-striping Mary Maxim prism. So this is categorized as a 3-weight. It's 100% acrylic, and there is 290 yards, 265 meters on each one of these little donuts. And I used just under 5. This is my 5th donut. And I made the large size of the pattern. And I did not follow the pattern to a T. Her sweater is kind of waist length. I'm older, chubbier. Waist length clothes don't look very nice on me. I need something that comes down to about my hips. So I did make it longer. I made it come down to my hips, and I don't know whether my gauge is off or whether I just have longer arms. I also added an extra 4 rows to my arms before I did the ribbing. Because it's a top-down project, you can try it down on as you go, which is really nice. The one interesting thing is that if you look at the back, and it's easiest to see it if I show you where my turn is. You turn on each row, and the turn is in down one of the sides under your armpit. I think it's under the right side is where it is. Yes. So I think I can show it this way. Well, there we go. So there's the turn. It's just funny how all the darker blue and lighter blue ended up on the back, and the grayish and the like this color blue, that all ended up on the front. So I guess at some point I should have cut my yarn and put a new, like started a different spot in the skein here on my, where I was turning. So that way my colors would have come out a little bit more variegated through the fronts and the back. Everything's a learning experience, isn't it? So if you can hear that beeping, it's my washing machine. I don't know if you can hear that. But yeah, so I'm very happy with how the sweater came out. It's a very simple pattern, great TV pattern, works up fairly quickly. For somebody who doesn't like doing, the ribbing is, excuse me, you go back and forth in the back loops only, and slip stitch into it, so you know you start here and you work your way up and around. I don't find it takes that long, but I know from watching others and hearing their comments, they find this type of ribbing, I don't know what the word is, annoying. I don't know what the correct word is, but some people don't like it. I like the way this type of ribbing works out. I think that it's worth the extra effort. That's just my opinion. I really like how it's stretchy. I really like, you know, I like the way it looks. I really like this type of ribbing. And I did do each section as I went. So like when I finished the body of the sweater, I did the ribbing along the bottom. And when I finished the sleeves, I did the ribbing at the bottom of the sleeves. The only one that I left for last was the ribbing on the V-neck. And the pattern was written that way to do the V-neck at the end. It was actually written to do the ribbing in the order that I did it in. I did at one point consider doing the ribbing on the V-neck sooner just because I wanted to get it done. But no, I stuck it out and I waited to do it last, which it looks like a lot of ribbing, but in reality, I think I did it in about, my daughter and I were binge watching Gilmore Girls. I think I did it in 2 or 3 episodes. That's not that bad. And I can't say that I crochet like solid for that time. I do take little breaks. So, you know, it didn't really take that long. And I didn't mention what my ribbing is. The ribbing is this Mary Maxim Best Value. And I just had this one skein, and this is what I have left. It's probably over half full. So the color on this is Platinum. This is a 4-weight. And these are 342 yards, 313 meters on the skein. So yeah, so I'm very happy with how the sweater came out. It's really comfy. As I said, I wore it yesterday afternoon to clients. So yeah, really happy with how it came out. So that is my one finished object. And I have been pretty good about keeping to one project lately. I do have other WIPs, but I haven't really worked on any of them. I've just been really focused on the one project that I was working on. I think the last project I just worked on it solid 2 pretty much. Oh no, I'm lying. I did work on my fall wreath, which I don't know why I just totally blanked out about that. Yeah, I had completely put this project aside for about I'm gonna say probably 4 or 5 days. Um, yeah, it was probably 4 or 5 days, not the past weekend, the weekend before. I started on, like I had put my wreath aside and I hadn't worked on it in ages, and I got it out the Friday before last and decided to kick it up a notch and get it done. And there's a video for that I posted just under a week ago. So if you want to go check that out, the fall wreath is a collaboration that I did with Rebecca over at Yarn and Pajamas. But go check that video out if you haven't, and check out Rebecca's wreath. They're a lot of fun. But that was the other project that I was working at the same time. So yeah, I'm lying. But I just had the two. Like I worked on this, then one day I decided to get out the wreath, and I was going back and forth between that day I was sewing the wrap on the wreath, and I was also doing the ribbing on the bottom of the sweater, and I would work on one for like an hour and then I would switch and I would work on the other for like an hour, or an episode of TV or whatever we were doing at the time. I just was finding that the like sewing, it hurts my arm after a while, and just having that break and switching between sewing the wrap on the wreath and the ribbing on the sweater and going back and forth was better for me. So in terms of new WIPs, we'll start with the acquisition. So my daughter and I went to Michael's. We went to Michael's for... I went for something for my wreath. So we didn't even go to buy yarn. But we were in the section where the yarn is, and I had received my other acquisition a few days before that. And my other acquisition was to make a sweater for her, which she didn't like. She didn't like the yarn that I got for that. So we were at Michael's this day, and she saw this yarn, and she decided that she would like her sweater made in this. So I had suggested to her that I thought she would like a hoodie type sweater, which she agreed and said yes, she would like that. So she saw this at Michael's and decided that she'd like it made in this one, which, to be honest, completely surprised me because she doesn't normally like self-striping yarn. So I was really surprised. So this is Karen's Cinnamon Swirl Cake. The color on this is Sweets. It's medium 4 weight, 8 ounces, 227 grams, 407 yards, 372 meters on the cake. And we got 4 of these, so I hope that 4 is enough. The pattern that we're doing for her size, I think she calls for 1700, and I don't remember if it's meters or if it's yards. I need to get it out and check that because there's only 372, I said, right? Yeah, 372. Yeah, that's only 1500 meters. So I might want to think about going and getting another one of these in case they don't have them when I need it. So anyways, so I looked around at different patterns for a while. I was having trouble finding something that I liked. This is what I did yesterday on this. And this is a top-down hoodie pattern that I found. So it starts with the top of the neck, and this is what I have so far. If I unfold it, it looks like this. But this is the neck of it so far. And this pattern is by, I have it here, Heart Hook. I think it's Heart Hook and Home. Yes, Heart Hook and Home. And this is called the Harvest Hoodie. I'll insert a picture here of what hers looks like. Her samples are all shown in like a tweed or a solid yarn. She doesn't show any samples in a self-striping. I also looked at the projects on Ravelry and I didn't see any on there, so I was kind of worried about, as I said, my daughter in picking self-striping. I was a little surprised that she picked that. And so I was kind of looking for a sample of what it would look like worked up in a self-striping yarn, but as I said, there wasn't any projects on Ravelry with that, so I think this is a newer pattern of hers. I think she released this in September, so maybe that's why there weren't any. So, but this is what we've got so far on it. She likes the way the striping's working up in this so far, so I think that we're going to be okay with the striping. I'll admit, I get in my head. When I first started a project, unless I'm like totally gung-ho on the pattern, I question it. I question, you know, is this the right one? Is the stitch right? Is the hook the right size? Am I making the right size? Like, I get all in my head about this. And that's the problem. So I'm still in my head about this. I haven't gotten past that point where I've worked up enough of this that I'm 100% happy with the yarn that I've chosen, the hook size that I've chosen, the pattern that I've chosen. So I think that's what the issue is. But it looks cute so far. I hope that she's gonna like it when it's done. But yeah. I guess we're on a wearables kick. That's what I've been working on lately. So my other acquisition was, I'm on a Facebook group that has hexagon cardigans, and I had started a hexagon cardigan using cotton yarn in the summer, and it was one of the things that when we had the flood in our house, we moved to the rental, it was one of the things that it ended up in storage. So the sweater itself, I think, is here, but all the yarn for it is in storage. So because of that, I haven't worked on it all. It's been put aside. I put all those projects in a box and I have them all together, because there's no point in working on something that I'm just going to run out of yarn, you know, a few hours into it. So yeah, I haven't worked on it all. But I was on this, as I said, I was on this group and somebody had worked up a hexagon cardigan, and they had worked it up and it looked so beautiful and so fluffy, and my daughter really likes fluffy yarn, and so I thought that she would like this. So I bought the yarn for it and she doesn't like it, which I should have ran it past her before I bought it, but I didn't, because it was such a good deal and I really had in my head that she was gonna like it. So this is the yarn here, and I bought this gigantic bag of it. And if you notice, there are no labels in here. I'll show you the yarn up close. This is what it looks like. And it is a Chenille yarn. So this is actually Sidar, what's it called? Sidar Snuggly Cuddly Chenille, I think is what it's called. And it is not labeled. It's in bulk. And I bought it. I'll link the store that I bought it from in the description box, but the store is in the UK. And they were, I think each skein was 99, I want to say cents, but you know, the store's in the UK, so it's in their dollars. I guess that's pounds or whatever. So I'll put in here what I paid per skein in Canadian. I'll put it here like in text, because I've forgotten what the conversion was, but it worked out to be a really good price. I did choose the cheapest option for shipping, which is a non-tracked And here in Canada, it arrived by Canada Post. Excuse me. And I ordered it on a Thursday. They shipped it on a Friday. And I got my shipment on not the following Tuesday, the Tuesday after, which, to be honest, what I paid for shipping, because my total order was, I bought 15 skeins, so that's 15 pounds or whatever their dollars are in. And then I paid about 15 for shipping. So it worked out, well, the total was 49 and change. But I'll put up here the total was in Canadian, including shipping that I paid when you converted it over. But I thought that it was a really, really, really good buy. And I liked the color. So I'll have to come up with a project now for this. My daughter thinks that I should use it for a blanket, and 15 skeins is probably enough for a blanket. The person who had made the hexagon cardigan had used, I think it was 10 skeins. But hers was pretty long. So I really thought that I was going to get away with making 2 projects with the 15, I think, because I don't know where I got 15 from. When I got it, and it was 15 in the bag, I was like, did I really order 15? I don't remember ordering 15, but apparently I did order 15. So, yeah, they're really soft. They're really snuggly, and I need to come up for a project for this. So I can't decide if I'm going to make like a big, bulky, wear at home sweater type thing for myself, since my daughter doesn't like it because I think it's so plushy and nice, or if I'm going to use it for a blanket, because this would be definitely enough yarn for at least a smaller size lapgan that you would wear to watch TV or whatever, to keep on the couch. So yeah, so that is my other acquisition. That was the only color they had. It was just that I guess they had quite a few skeins of it left. So I guess they're just trying to get rid of it. So yeah. And actually I did place another order for yarn. Again, I think it's, people show yarn in videos on the skein and I get excited about it, but I don't need it as much as when I see it worked up in a project. I see a yarn worked up in a project and I'm just like, wow, that looks awesome, and then I want it. And so that's what happened with this yarn and the other order that I placed. It's the same deal. I saw it worked up in a project and I was like, oh, I need that. So yeah, I have another order that I placed. That one's also coming out of the UK, but it's coming from Wool Warehouse. So in Wool Warehouse to here, usually I get it shipped again. It's on a non-tracked post option, so it arrives here by Canada Post, and usually it takes about 2 weeks to get here. So you should see that in a couple weeks, and later on we'll see it worked up into something. So yeah. So in terms of life update, not a lot going on. We have been painting at our house. We are still in the rental. The update on our house in terms of us getting moved back home, they were originally expecting the last thing there is to do is the hardwood. The house is pretty much ready now, except for we have no floors. So the hardwood original date was mid-November, and so it is now mid-November. So I messaged the contractor who ordered the hardwood and asked him if he had an update. He said no. So my husband and I had gone to the store where the hardwood was purchased to look at hardware options and decide what we want, and then we just tell the contractor what we want and they bill it directly to the insurance company. So it wasn't us that ordered it, it was them that had ordered it, but we had been there and we had seen it and we had talked to them there and all that kind of stuff. So I called them on Monday and I asked them if they had any update on the hardwood, and they said that it's being basically manufactured like an order the size of our ordered. It's going to be manufactured specifically for us, and that it should come probably next week. That it's scheduled to be produced next week, and then they should get it like the day after it's made. So and then if my calculations are right, if our contractor doesn't have another job that he's working on, I think that once he receives the hardwood, it's going to probably be about a week for us to get back home. So I think we're still pretty much on schedule to be back at home around the beginning of December. So we're still really looking forward to that. We are, based on the dates and all those kind of things, we are not going to start decorating for Christmas here unless we know that we're going to stay here for Christmas. I don't want to put up Christmas decorations and to decorate and then have to take them all down to pack them up and move back home. So because of that, they're just staying in their boxes. And we have finished, we were painting the bedrooms and painting trim and door frames and all that stuff at our house. So we finished all that, and we finished all the upstairs, the work that we wanted to do upstairs, it all finished. We changed the light fixtures, we painted the ceilings, the walls, the entire rooms. We also changed some light switches, stuff like that. Some of them were like the older kinds, so we switched them out. And I just have left to do some window frames downstairs. I wanted to do a few of those. I was going to wait until we were back home, but now that it looks like it's going to be another week before they start the hardwood, I probably have time to do that this weekend. So I think one day this weekend I'll just go over and knock out those window frames, get them painted, and that way it's done and I don't have to worry about it. The advantage of waiting till after we move is just that the areas that we've been painting so far have, as I said, they have no floors, so you don't have areas that you need to protect. Whereas downstairs, the window frames that need to be painted is, for example, we have a pretty large window in our kitchen and it's over the kitchen sink. My drop cloths that I normally use for painting, they are all in storage. So I'll have to come up with something else to use for a drop cloth in the kitchen while I paint the kitchen window frame. Stuff like that. There's also a closet doorway I wanted to paint. This closet is the entryway closet, so it's where it's not a section that's hardwood floor, it's a section that's vinyl floor that we replaced when we did our kitchen a few years ago, and that floor survived the floods. So again, I need drop cloths to cover the floor while I paint that frame. So that was a reason why I was avoiding doing those, but I think I can find something to cover the floor with that I don't mind if it gets wrecked. So yeah. So that's where we're at with things with the house. Other things around here have been pretty boring. My son has been he's been out in Winnipeg for work for he's been there about a week and a half, and he comes back on Saturday, so he's gonna have had a full 2 weeks in Winnipeg, which he was wanting to travel a bit that direction and see what was out west. So it's good that he's getting this opportunity to see what's there. Not that Winnipeg was really on his list of places that he wanted to go, but it's good that he got to check it out. He said that he's been mostly they have him working 10 to 12 hour days most of the time since he's been there, so he hasn't had a lot of time to check it out. That, and there's 4 of them from his company there, and the 4 of them are sharing the one rental car. and it's not him who rented the car, it's one of the other guys. So, you know, he's relying on him to drive them wherever they want to go. So they kind of, if he wants to go somewhere, the other guy has to be wanting to go as well to get to go there. So yeah. So that's my life update. And I hope everything's good with you guys. If you want to tell me about projects that you're working on it, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. You know, I hope that your lives are good. I hope that your health is good. And I hope that, you know, you're getting ready for Christmas and excited about it. It's hard at this point to be excited for Christmas since I can't decorate or anything. I do have a Christmas project that I want to work on though, so I might get that out in the next few days. I'm pretty sure I have all the yarn that I need for that here, so, and if I do, I'm missing like one color. I could probably fudge it out of something else, so hopefully I can. But yeah. So thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for liking my videos. Thanks for subscribing to my channel. And I'll see you next time on Lori Hooks. Bye everyone.